So today I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview of Zoom meetings and how you can use them. I'm not trying to give you a whole bunch of details, just enough to be able to run them. If you set up an account and go in, you will see something that looks like this that will give you your upcoming meetings, or you can schedule a meeting. You can do it in two spots here. You can see your previous meetings, anything that you have booked before, or you can look at your personal meeting rooms, or you can set up meeting templates, which is always nice to have some different backgrounds. It's up to you. I don't do anything fancy with my meetings. I usually have them scheduled, and as you can see, I have them scheduled ahead. In this case, I'm just going to show you what it looks like if I just host a meeting to set this up so you can see what we're doing with it. So I'm going to have my video on, but I have my camera closed, so that won't show up. I will actually turn to my picture. But at this point, they're going to ask you to open Zoom meetings. If you've never before, it'll prompt you to download it, but you can open that, and then it's going to connect me to the meeting. It's that simple. So I can join with my computer audio, and I can also test my speaker and microphone. I know they're fine, so I'm going to do this. Now, because this is a screen capture, it won't use my computer audio. So one of the things I'm going to explain to you you'll be able to hear it, the secondary piece that I'm talking about. Anyways, let's get back to this. The first thing on here is the icon that's kind of under the Screencast-O-Matic logo, but it's a little microphone, and as I speak, or if you're speaking, you'll see the little green line go up and down just to let you know that it's actually working. If, let's say, you need to change your computer audio, or you need to change your audio settings, or you need to test them again because they seem to work but now they're not, you can go out. As you can see, I'm on my headset, but I could go back to the computer system where it's just their speakers and microphone. The biggest problem for those is that if somebody doesn't have a headset and they're on their computer speaker and microphone, the problem is that if you're speaking, you can sometimes get feedback from theirs, which can be because their computer audio is loud enough that their microphone is picking it up, and then it's delayed, so it's hard for you to speak because you're hearing yourself in a delayed form. But it also can be really annoying, and people can't actually hear if it's turned up too loud. I have a tendency to mute those people when those things happen because that's the problem, right? So you do have that option, and I would suggest muting them if they don't understand that they need to mute and unmute themselves for those things. Now, in this case, I'm going to stop the video because I'll just put my picture up there when I was happy and could be outdoors with other people. All right. We have the participants. Obviously, there's only me in here. And as people come in, they'll ask you if you want to let them join, if you haven't given them already that. They can be in a waiting room until you let them in. Once again, you'll get that option and you'll get to see it. You want to click on participants to know that, right? So as you can see, my video is off, but I can also have the option to mute somebody. So that's where you can mute them. It's pretty easy. This is also where I can find the chat. I can mute all and I can unmute all. I can also put up the chat here, which will allow me to chat with the group, or the group can type things in, especially if somebody doesn't have a very good working microphone, they'll use this. And notice those three dots. It says more, but the three dots are kind of your answer to everything always. If you click on three dots, you can allow participants to unmute themselves, allow participants to rename themselves. You can mute them upon entry. You can have a lot of different options here. So I do always like to see what I've got there and what I've got set up. And I always enable the waiting room to make sure I'm ready for them to come in. The three dots down here let people choose who they can chat with. And you can even set it up that they can only do no one, or they can be only the host only. So that's sometimes if you've been in a Zoom meeting and you couldn't see any chat, and yet the hosts were talking about it, it's because of that. What's next on this, well, you can always close it down again, and you can either pop it out where you can move it around. If you click pop out, you can minimize it, or I'm going to close it because I don't really need it, either one, the chat, or that. So I'm popping that down. I've still got this option here. We're going to just skip over the share screen and record. Breakout rooms. If you have a lot of people in your meeting, you can set out, and you want them to work in some smaller groups, you can set up breakout rooms, and that's where they discuss things privately without having to try to overtalk each other. So it's just like having a meeting where you set them off to do work in the separate little groups and come back. They also have the option to do some reactions, which is nice. They can clap their hand, give you a thumbs up. If they click on this, it'll just go by their picture on the side screen and or how you have it tiled, right? And in that case, all you can do is once you're done with it, it'll just go away after a certain period of time. You don't have to clear it out like you do in some other formats. I also can say that you can choose to record your meeting, and that's a good thing to do. It's like having minutes or notes for yourself. I just let people know that I'm recording the meeting starting now. And they're adults, they can choose not to be recorded and they can choose to just type things into chat. Most people are pretty understanding of this. It just makes it so that you do have all of the notes from that. And even with chat, as you leave, it'll ask, you can save your chat over here, right? So if I go back into chat, I will just show you that, is that as you're choosing this, you can choose this to save your chat, right? Okay, so let's close that one down again. So now it's about the sharing screen here. This is the big thing, is that you have a lot of people share, one participant share at a time. I usually go with one participant share at a time. So I'm going to share my screen. At this point in time, I'm just going to be showing you a PowerPoint, so I don't want to share my entire screen. I'm just going to share the PowerPoint, and I'm going to share that. The biggest thing here is so that I can see everything else that's going on. What I want to do is set up my slideshow. And set up your slideshow, it will usually come up presented by a speaker. You want to choose browse by an individual. That will allow you to still keep seeing the chat if you have it open and all of the other things that are attached to Zoom. So that's important when you're presenting that. Otherwise, you can just put the present on and there it is. And you can click with enter, your space bar, right? Or your mouse click. It's whatever works best for you. So here's just my test for Zoom. I'm clicking to that where it said no need to panic, except for the dog who is panicking. And that's just a little thing, just so you can know. So I can stop my share, right? And that just takes me back to my room. So I'm back in my room and then I decide, oh, you know what? I want to show a video, or it might actually be in my PowerPoint. To share the video, you're going to have to stop sharing the PowerPoint. Just be prepared for that. So in this case, I am going to share my entire screen here and share. So what I need to do here is possibly get out of that PowerPoint and, oops, I just want to cancel it. I am going to show you my YouTube. Now, interestingly here, if I can get my screen to come back up. As long as you go down there, you will always see this come back up. It will disappear from your screen if you're not, but as soon as you move your mouse, it'll come back up. What you want to do here is that was breakout rooms before. Now we have more. So in this case, you want to share computer sound if you want to go to YouTube or something else to show a video, because you're just sharing your screen otherwise. Once again, like I'm taping this, you won't be able to see it or hear it the same way. But I would do it like that. And if I do it like that, they will hear it over their computer speakers, right? But this is a tape that's happening. And this is just the video we did on mails. So you can only hear this probably through my microphone. And that's how that works. Those are the main points. Once again, I will click on stop share and it brings me back to my room. And we can have a lot of different discussions. We can have different things happen. But I think that's the best overview, just so you can know what can happen within your computer. But it's about screen sharing and knowing how to make that work the best for you. I hope this has helped you. You can end the meeting at this point in time. You can either leave the meeting, which leaves people in the room, they can still chit-chat, or you just end meeting for all, which is like kicking everybody out. If you click on give feedback, they can let you know at the end of the meeting when they're kicked out or they leave, they can give some feedback on the meeting. All right, so I'm going to end the meeting for all, which just takes me back to my personal screen, and I'm going to end this video now. So if you have any further questions, please let us know if you need us to put up something more.